Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Self Engineer here, and today we've had some really big news. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be covering the update with regards to the drop system, just how it was exactly decided on, and I did also just want to go through the new upcoming drop and just address a few of the points on that. So I've been pretty active in the official Ecomi Telegram, just helping out with some questions here and there, and I just wanted to share with you guys some bit around that, a few bits around that, as well as an update with regards to the drop as well. So I have had a bit more confirmation regards to the different versions that are going to be available, but we should find out soon the exact specifics. And lastly, I did just want to touch on the price for today. So if we go straight into it now, on Twitter we can see that we have the ecto-one, which is going to be dropping, which is pretty cool. So this Dan has been speaking about this for quite a while now. He's kind of teased it as well, and it makes sense that we are getting the ecto-one because it's been a while now, and we had kind of Ghostbusters Day as well. Now, one key point that I was kind of surprised by is they said that we would never really get two of the same brands in a row, but now we are. So I think that's quite interesting that, you know, we just had the Ghost Trap and now we're getting the ecto-one, which are both Ghostbusters. Now, I don't know whether, you know, this is going to be an ultra rare or not. I believe that yes, we will get an ultra rare version, and then we will get a uncommon version and then a common version, similar to the DeLoreans. So, will we have the exact same number of mints as the DeLoreans? I would imagine we'd have less, just because, you know, the DeLoreans were supposed to be very popular, more popular than the ecto-one. My guess is, you know, they might go for the 8,888 mints on the ultra rare, and then a little bit higher on the other ones. That's just my prediction though, so we'll have to see. But I think this is a pretty cool drop to go for on the 17th. I was originally predicting it was going to be either serial killers, because they mentioned cartoon and serial in the name, or it would be Edo, because Edo is the last ultra rare from season 1 that we're waiting, so that should happen very soon. And July the 17th was also the first day that the Ultraman TV show aired on TV, so it would have been a nice little, you know, I guess, whatever you want to call it, nod to the series based on that. Now, on the point of the updates to the drop system, so firstly, this was essentially a community-led change. A lot of people were kind of sending ideas in, and the team they do look at ideas, you know, they'll discuss amongst themselves what would be good to implement, and then they implement it. And this, you know, let's be realistic, it's been less than a week since we had the Ghost Trap drop, and in that time they've taken on feedback, they have discussed it, you know, and they have put it into production. Now, I have to be completely honest, this is like in the tech industry, you will never ever find a company that can deliver this fast. Like, most companies, from where we had the initial drop to this change, it's going to take them, you know, probably like closer to a month to do, and they've managed to do it in less than a week, because there is a huge process involved in, you know, just getting a feature added, and they have to do that on top of the backlog of all of the work that they've already planned. So for them to have turned this around so fast, it just blows my mind, like how they can do that, especially considering that I believe their team isn't actually that big, although they are expanding. So just on the point of the getting ready to buy now button, now this is a point that I had to kind of, you know, argue the case with Dan in the AMA, and, you know, credits to Dan, he's a super receptive guy, very happy to take feedback on board with the team. I had quite a lot of constructive conversation on him around this, because the article has stated the exact same case that I was trying to push for, is if we have the buy now timer visible all the time, that is beneficial for those who are, one, living in areas where the connectivity is quite bad, and two, for those who have devices that are maybe older, that don't sync up very well, it might take a while for the buy now button to render, and those people are going to be disadvantaged, as well as, you know, the syncing issue with the clock. Some devices were a bit faster than others, so they've addressed that by having the buy now version permanently visible. So what that means is, if you live in Spain, for example, where I've been told that the connectivity isn't that great, then you can just press buy now like 2 seconds earlier, and that can compensate for the latency issue. And now I just want to address that, because this is what I raised with the team, is the VeVe application is hosted on Amazon Web Services, AWS. Now, if we have a look here, these blue circles tell us, where there are Amazon data centers located. So we have, some in London, we've got some in Ireland, and if we have a look at the orange circles, that's where data centers don't currently exist, but they are coming soon. And what do you know? Spain is one of them. Spain doesn't have their own AWS data center, which means that they have to connect to the next closest data center in Europe. And I believe that will probably be Milan or Paris, one of these two. So if you imagine you're someone who lives in Paris, obviously you're going to have better connectivity than someone in Spain. But obviously there are other factors as well, your device, the weather on the day. But typically, if you live in this region serviced by all these data centers compared to someone in Spain, you will have a better chance. And you can kind of see, these other locations as well. We can see that Ohio, they've got a data center, Canada, this the US East one, US West. So California, Oregon, they all have data centers, so they'll typically be serviced better. So that's the case that I put forward, is some people have latency issues, but they are aware of it, so they should be allowed to compensate for it by pressing earlier. But if they do press too early, then they get this error message, and that way there should be no complaints about, hey, my connection isn't bad, I'll never get a collectible. Now, randomized edition numbers, this was proposed by someone on the community. They just tweeted it out, and VeVe Collectible, or VeVe Official in this case, responded. So that's all good now. When you reserve a collectible, you will be issued with a random mint number, which I think is much, much better. It adds that kind of surprise factor as well. And the last one, so the capture system. So this is something that I discussed with Dan, because other people sent it to me and they really wanted to push for this in the AMA. So I was like, hey, you know what, let's just ask Dan about this, see what his ideas are, see what his thoughts are. And in the end it did get implemented, so that's pretty good. Now I want to be really, really clear, I have been in further discussions about this, because we don't want to, we want to be inclusive of people with dyslexia, people with special needs. So for example, there was initially going to be ideas proposed with kind of color system, and again that will disadvantage people with color blindness. This capture system where you have to read something. If you're dyslexic, would that be more difficult? There's loads of different caveats to take into consideration, but what my vision is for VeVe, so this isn't something that's currently I've spoken to the team about, but it's something that would be nice, is for people who when they maybe sit an exam in school, they can provide some kind of medical evidence and get a maybe additional time added to their exam, something like that. If we could implement some kind of program in VeVe where if you have, say, dyslexia, for example, then you get a little bit more leniency in terms of, maybe more time to reserve your collectible, maybe a slight head start, something like that, just to increase that inclusivity aspect. Because it would be interesting to see, the first carbon neutral NFT platform, as well as the first NFT platform that caters towards those with special needs. I think from a PR point of view, that would be brilliant. But baby steps. They still got a lot of stuff to do, and they are iterating all the time. I think they're going to do brilliantly. Now, on the other point, we do have the current meme competition, so I've just tweeted this out. We have our guy Mr. McShack, who does all of our really cool memes, versus Gausto NFT, so definitely vote on this. If you're not sure who to vote for, then McShack definitely needs the votes, because I do want to see what he's going to drop later on, so I think that's going to be cool. Lastly, what I wanted to touch on is the price for today. Now, the price has actually come down, and I believe that is to do with the token unlock news. So some people weren't aware, but there was actually token unlock yesterday, and coinciding with that, we did have a slow decrease in price. And that is not because the people who had the tokens unlocked sold, it's because people who think they're going to sell end up preemptively selling. And the entire dip that we had before, that was just caused by people thinking the founders were going to sell, so they decide to sell before the founders could sell, and then buy back in cheaper. But literally, we just have people selling who think that the founders are going to sell. and that's just what it is. So, you know, we did dip below our trend line. We have also dipped below this area of support, but I don't think we're going to stay here very long. I believe we're going to rebound and return back to here, and then eventually, once we have Comic-Con or another major catalyst, we will push back into this green channel up here. So I believe we will break another high on the monthly. So yeah, I'm not worried. Just you know, my advice, which I would always do, is dollar cost average. So that's what I'm doing. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but you know, I think for transparency's sake, like, I just always share what I'm doing with you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to go through with you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe to support the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.